Today on Collider Sports Time, a lot of NBA free agency going on. Kevin Durant might be going to the Nets. We got ourselves little Jimmy Butler feeling the heat. And D'Angelo Russell, my God, how did he end up in the Golden State Warriors possibly? We're going to talk about all of that, the big deals, here on today's episode of Collider Sports Time. Welcome, everybody, to this episode on this lovely post-July 4th Friday. I'm your host, John Roca, joined today by one of the biggest basketball fans on the planet, a man who thinks it's the greatest sport in the world, Josh McCougar.
Hey, thanks, guys. You guys are fantastic. I appreciate it. See, my Penguins traded Phil Kessel. Oh, baskesketball. That's my bad.
Come on, focus up. And of course, we couldn't do this NBA free agency special without our resident Miami Heat fan and the man who keeps the lights on in this damn place, Mark Fernandez. How are you, my friend?
I'm all right, man. I'm grumpy as hell, to be honest with you.
I'm all right, man.
I'm grumpy as hell. I'm wearing all black.
It's just like we got the Miami Heat. I mean, we got to do something about this Pat Riley guy.
What?
He is borderline.
Right
Look, the guy's got a great history, but he's making deals. He's truly. What is it? His ass is cashing checks. What's the saying go?
His ass is cashing checks his mouth can't cover, something like that.
Or something like that. But it's just like the Heat are making these deals. We have no money.
Yeah. Well,
where's the money coming from for these deals?
You might have something. Maybe it's Miami money. I don't get involved in Miami money. You know, there's a lot going on down there. But we'll get to that in just a second. Let's start off first with the big news, and that's the Brooklyn Nets. The who? The Brooklyn Nets absolutely working out deals for Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and DeAndre Jordan. This is pretty incredible. Kevin Durant, he announced it on his Instagram. He is signing a 4-year contract worth up to $164 million. Mark, where are they getting that money? Irving is going to sign for 4 years and $141 million, while Jordan agreed to a 4-year, $40 million deal. I didn't know people even cared that DJ was still in the league. There he is attached to the situation as part of the agreement, and this is kind of a kick in the face to the Knicks. Both Durant and Irving took less than the max so that they could give Jordan $10 million a year. Pretty incredible. They structured these deals so they could possibly get 15% back if they reach certain goals. But you look at this, Mark, I'm going to go to you first.
Yeah.
This is insane that the Brooklyn Nets have completely stolen the Knicks' plans from them and then revitalized their entire team.
In theory.
Okay, fair.
In theory, because I'm here to give probably the worst take that'll probably get me banned from ever talking sports again.
Here we go.
I think...
Strapping in.
Yeah, strapping in.
I think that the Knicks did the right thing.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I think the Knicks, I think Dolan, if Dolan would come out and say, hey, Oakley, I'm sorry about what went down. You're a legend in this arena. This arena can't go on without you.
Yeah.
I apologize. I am the bigger man for this. I'm sorry. Or, come back. I fucked up. Okay. I let my emotions get the best of me. Come back. Because if you take away that Dolan thing, okay, if you take away, I mean, look, he brought on Phil Jackson because Phil Jackson was supposedly the smartest guy in the history of basketball, right?
Absolutely.
So he did the effort there. The Knicks are the only team in the NBA with an all minority front office, right? You got Scott Perry in there. You got Dave Fizdale, former Miami Heat assistant, in there that like the players love. But the Achilles injury is the worst injury in sports. Number one,
right?
Barring injuries that that happened to like the great linebacker that played for the Steelers that are like injuries that you can't really walk straight again.
Yeah.
But the Achilles injury for a basketball player is very, very, very serious, right? You've heard all the stuff. No player has ever come back from it and produced the same numbers ever.
Yeah.
The closest is Dominique Wilkins, who had already suffered a pretty bad knee injury already in his career.
And sort of Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant retired the year after he came back from it.
Yeah. He couldn't quite catch.
He couldn't do it. It's a really, really tough injury.
It is.
So I've been hearing that the Knicks didn't have access to the full medical reports by the Warriors and by Durant's personal doctors.
Right.
And Durant did want to sign with the Knicks, and he just, he didn't want to offer him the max deal, so he didn't even take the meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's hard for me to put that on Dolan. I know Stephen A. Smith is my favorite broadcaster in the world, went off on it, but I actually think that the Knicks did the right thing, because if you look at the Nets now, Kyrie Irving is an incredible ball handler, incredible closer.
Absolutely.
But he did publicly stick to his guns that the world was flat, knowing that the world is not flat. Right. So, like, that just says something about his mental space, right?
Yeah.
He had a great situation in Boston that he completely imploded. So
really well. He did a great job imploding it. Like, he was awesome.
I was reading The Athletic this morning, and one of those Boston columnists on The Athletic said he is now the worst athlete Boston's ever had, and they're going to hate him forever for what he did.
Good.
I mean, so when I look at the Brooklyn Nets, KD, if KD hadn't had an injury, okay, and had maybe won the champion. Let's say he had lost the championship, okay, but he still didn't have that injury. I'd say, holy crap, the Nets are definitely going to the finals.
Right.
But he's not coming in till maybe the playoffs of next season. Maybe.
Right.
Okay, but so then you won't really know what you got until the year after that.
Yeah.
All right. There's going to be another round of musical chairs in the free agency market, so you won't know where the power stands. I don't know. This move for the Nets is a cool move, I think, for KD personally. He gets 1 year off, gets to hang out with Jay-Z, gets to hang out with the Live Nation folks, is in Brooklyn. He'll be embraced by Brooklyn. But in terms of basketball, I don't know.
Yeah, you got to look at this. Let's go to you, Josh. You look at this situation. You have possibly one of the greatest players ever, but coming off an Achilles injury. You have Kyrie Irving, as Mark mentioned, who has at times destabilized a franchise, both in Cleveland and in Boston. And then you have DeAndre Jordan, which is essentially a dinosaur now in the NBA, where centers are shooting three-pointers and pulling defenders out to the three-point line. Yes, cosmetically, this looks like a great deal, but this could all blow up in the Nets' face at a tune of almost $300 million.
Okay, first of all, I totally forgot that DeAndre Jordan was still in the league. I was like, wait, what?
Played for the Knicks last season.
You're not the only one.
Yeah, Knicks, when he was with the Clippers, they were pretty good.
Yeah, they were. But that was also...
But he wasn't the best player on the team.
Right, there was also Chris Paul and Blake Griffin.
Right? That was like that big three. DeAndre Jordan used to just tool around Playa Vista all the time. But that's a story for another day. Okay. DeAndre Jordan aside, the Achilles injury to Kevin Durant, who the flip side of this is, let's just say he doesn't tear his Achilles in that finals game. Let's just say he never plays a game. They have like these medical reports. It's a calf strain. He's playing whatever. Off-season injury, he tears the Achilles or something like that. Then they had no idea that they were signing him. So the fact that they did get him to tear that Achilles in that game is almost a godsend for the Brooklyn Nets, because at least they know it's an Achilles. They can go in, they can fix it, it can be done. We all knew that there was no way he was going to stay with the Warriors, because he was really pissed about how that injury was handled. He really, really was. He would have never said that. He'll never come out and say that, because I think Kevin Durant is too good of a guy. But you are still dealing with a team. I don't care if there's a Brooklyn in front of it. It will always be the New Jersey Nets to me. Okay, it's like the San Diego Chargers. Okay, a place where talent goes to die.
Clippers.
Or the LA Clippers. Right? It's a place where talent goes to die. And Kyrie Irving isn't just a cancer. He is like a very rapidly growing cancer that doesn't get any better. Like he attacks where he goes, and everybody's like, well, he did a good job with LeBron James. Because LeBron James dominated every headline. He couldn't do it. And then when he finally got out, he's bad wherever he goes. And if he's going to try and do something in Brooklyn this year, and he doesn't have Kevin Durant with him, we're just going to see Kyrie Irving trying to lead another team. It's not going to work out. I'm telling you, this is going to implode in Brooklyn's face. It's not going to work out.
That's certainly a way it can go, for sure, the implosion. But if this all works out, because the thing crazy is the odds all of a sudden dropped in half for Brooklyn winning the title this upcoming season. That's impossible to me. Not without Kevin Durant.
I mean, look, I'm sorry to interrupt, but it all comes down to what Kawhi is going to do, obviously, and I know we'll get to that in a minute. But like the Brooklyn Nets aren't winning anything next season.
No, not next season. They might make the playoffs, but they're not winning the title.
They made the playoffs this season with
true,
a
as a
decent team, but even though they're going to lose D'Angelo Russell, who was definitely the first option there. But they still have some other players that I can't even name.
Over under 50 wins.
Under.
Okay.
Under.
Okay.
For sure under.
All right. We'll see. I don't know.
I mean,
think it's going to be right.
6th seed, 7th seed.
I could see 52 wins. I could see it, but it would take a lot.
If I was a Vegas handicapper right now, I'd put it at 48.5, maybe at 40.
You got Joe Harris. You got a number of players around them that have really come on under
Joe
Sean
Harris,
Marks.
Mr. 3-point contest winner. But like,
they've got tools.
KD is one of the coolest, most fun players I've ever seen step on the court.
Awesome.
You know, he's quiet. He's like a quiet assassin out there. can play anything, can defend, can shoot from anywhere, has handles, and is 7 feet tall. I mean, this guy is an aberration to the sport. But he suffered an Achilles injury in the worst sport to have an Achilles injury, because unless he's not going to jump, right? And there's many players that said, look, I extended my entire career because I never jump when I shoot. I mean, this is like a well-known thing in basketball. KD jumps, and he's about 8 feet, 9 feet when he shoots.
He's a spooked deer when he jumps. He is so high off the ground.
Yeah, and he's going to be landing on that shit all the time. Basketball, especially when it gets into the playoffs, is a very physical sport.
Yeah.
This is going to be a really, really tough injury for KD to bounce back from.
Yeah, I mean, it's something we're going to definitely keep an eye on, because it's not just him coming back from the injury. It's also now you're going to spend another year working him into the offense with Kyrie, how it works, how it doesn't work. Remember, LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade all came together in that first year, got to the finals, but then couldn't get it done against Dallas because they were still figuring out how to play together. That may happen again with this team in the second year. So you may not see a title, if it's going to happen for Brooklyn, until the third year after the deal has been made. And who knows what condition, and who knows if Kyrie gets hurt again, who knows what could happen. It's like DeAndre's a stick himself right now. So there's possibilities here all around.
The other thing that this story tells me, though, and it's kind of going back to last season, but the Durant Warrior situation that came to a head with him and DeAndre in that one game where I believe DeAndre called him a little bitch, or it was something along those lines. I forget the exact quote, but there was definitely an issue there. I think DeAndre said, "We want, look, man, we want it without you. Like, chill out." Or I forgot what it was, but I thought that was the media making much ado about nothing.
You mean Draymond? When Draymond was coming out, not DeAndre, Draymond.
I'm sorry, Draymond Green. Yeah. I thought that was much ado about nothing, but it turns out that it really actually was something.
Yeah.
Because he got the hell out of there, right? Like,
there wasn't even a thought.
Yeah, KD and the Warriors were strained the entire season.
Marcus Thompson, who wrote Durant's biography, said that one of the biggest reasons why Durant left Golden State is because him and Steph Curry's relationship did not go to the next level while he was there. That for whatever reason, it did not quite get to the next level. So that's why he left.
Personally?
I think personally.
And I also heard that he was pissed off that he was never... that like the city never embraced him the way that they embraced Steph.
They looked at him as a mercenary.
Kind of, a hired gun.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Dude, like, you have burner accounts. Like, don't be so sensitive.
It's weird. Yeah. That's what I worry about with this. The mental energies going into Brooklyn is scary when you've got KD doing that stuff he did off season, with the different burner accounts. You got Kyrie talking about flat Earth, and DeAndre, who knows where he's at. You put all of that in New York. I'm just like a little scared about it all around.
So Kevin Durant, I believe, is 31 years old.
Yes, 31 years old.
Okay, so. And he played the last 2 years, obviously this season not, because he was pretty much out the entire playoffs, but he played basically 3 seasons in 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
So, and that wear and tear, I mean, you listen to LeBron James talk, that wear and tear is a legit thing.
Yeah.
With an Achilles.
Now you add that Achilles on top of it. Now he's not going to play another game probably until he's 33.
Right.
Guys.
Yeah. There's definitely room for concern.
Yeah, look, it's sad because KD was one of the greatest talents we ever saw in this game.
He won.
Yeah, but look, Yao Ming was also an incredible talent. Hall of Famer, I believe, in only 9 seasons. Yeah. And, one nasty injury, and it's...
Look at Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose had the promise of everything till he hurt that knee.
He signed with the Pistons.
He did, 2 years. It's pretty surprising.
$15 million 2-year deal. Anyway.
He might be bouncing back. All right, so the next question I had is, how does this affect Kawhi's decision? Does this affect it, seeing this new shift in power to the Brooklyn Nets on the eastern side of the NBA? Does it affect his decision with Toronto, or do you think he's going to sign? He's going to do whatever he's going to do anyway. It doesn't matter who signs where.
Well, where do they get the money to sign another max deal?
Well, to who?
Brooklyn.
No, I'm not talking about
Florida, right?
I'm saying, will Kawhi stay in the East with Toronto, knowing what's happening in Brooklyn, or does he go to the West, which all of a sudden seems wide open?
And I could be crazy for thinking this, but I think that the East is still wide open.
You do? Okay.
I think KD going to the East does nothing.
Okay.
Because until we see KD back on the court, we have no idea if this man's ever going to play again.
That's fair.
I mean, he'll play again.
Right.
But is he going to be jittery? Is he going to be stuttery? Is it, people say, oh, he's so good that when he comes back, he'll still be an all-star. Maybe if he's not as good as he was.
Right.
Okay, so if he's averaging 32 now, as KD, the best player in the world potentially,
Yeah.
and he comes back averaging 20, 25, okay, I can live with that.
Right.
But how long is he going to be able to pull that off for? Like you said, he's 31, he'll come back at 33.
Right.
I don't know, man. This whole KD thing to me is a non-factor. But if the rumors are true, and even Adrian Wojnarowski, whatever his Wojnarowski is saying that right now the lead pole position to sign Kawhi is the friggin' Lakers.
Yeah.
If that's the case, I might take a year off from basketball. It's just like,
Okay.
like, come on. It's just like, what?
Magic Johnson flew to Toronto to hang out with him.
Yeah. Well, he requested it.
Yeah.
Kawhi requested Magic be part of the negotiations.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it could be possible that the Lakers are in pole position.
Oh, my God.
Well,
Which
the
would be
Clippers don't
nuts.
have a legend like Magic.
Yeah. Do you have a thought on this? Where do you think Kawhi, does he stay in Toronto because they can give him the max, or does he go someplace else?
Give him Supermax.
Yeah, Supermax.
All right. I love your passion about taking a year off because I can see it, right? And the musical chairs of like this speed dating that is the NFL or NBA free agency is a lot. For Kawhi to go to the Lakers right now, David Stern is. I mean, if he blocked a Chris Paul trade, he would get on his. I mean, he would do anything he can to block a Kawhi.
You mean Adam Silver?
No. I'm talking about David Stern.
Yeah,
back
but
in the
Adam
day.
Silver's the
blocked.
commercial now.
Stern blocked the Chris Paul.
Yes, of course, yeah.
I'm sure he's on the phone right now to Adam Silver, be like, you better block something. Even though they
can't, it's a free agency.
Free agency
thing.
can't do
But
anything.
it would probably be one of the worst things for the NBA because then it just becomes a bastion of riches of the three of the top 10 players in the league, if not three of the top 5 players in the league.
But I'd say
playing
three of the
together.
5.
The
Three of the
NBA
5
secretly
playing on the
wants
same
that,
team.
though. The NBA secretly wants that because they can market the Lakers. They more than Toronto. They can
But then
market.
how the hell are the Lakers going to sign anybody else?
Yeah, that's the question that I have. Even if they sign Kawhi, you're not telling me 8 players are going to go play for the league minimum just to have a shot at a title. 8 good players? No way. You'll have 8 decent players, but no way you have 8 consistently great role
So
players.
you have 3
that
great
become a
players and
balance.
Kyle Kuzma, who's pretty damn good.
Kuzma, right, exactly.
Right? And then a bunch of guys I don't know.
Right. It'll basically be that.
Basically because they got rid of
Lonzo.
Durango
Yeah,
and all those guys.
that went to the Wizards.
Durango?
No, I'm not sure how you say something like that, Barango or something like that.
It's irrelevant. If you don't know
It
the
is.
name, you
You're
don't
totally
need to know
right.
the name.
It's
But
Brandon
yeah,
Ingram
leave
and
me
all
wide
that.
open. There's
that
a
team,
reason.
Even that team with 4 players,
Yeah.
could probably win the chip. I mean, it's just like that is an incredible group of talent. I can't. Oh, please don't let that happen. Please don't let that happen.
So then what? Then his other choices are stay in Toronto,
Stay in
go to
Toronto.
the Clippers.
Go to the
right?
Clippers, possibly.
and
I still have an outside belief that he's talking to the Heat.
The Heat.
Behind everyone's back.
First of all, everybody in Miami has told me that, and I've told everybody in Miami the same thing. With what money? The Heat can't even sign Jimmy Butler. Like literally, this Jimmy Butler deal is I give it a 30% chance.
Where's all their money
happen.
tied up? Where's all their money tied
I'll
up?
tell you where it's tied up. It's tied up in Hassan Whiteside, which supposedly is gone to Portland.
Yep.
Okay, but that's not sure how that's going to work out in it's whatever deal they got.
Right.
Tied up in a guy named Ryan Anderson.
Yep.
I could probably show you 30 NBA players.
Does Ryan Anderson do our insurance?
Yeah, you wouldn't even be able to know who he is. Okay, they
Nope.
paid the guy $25 million.
Yeah.
$25 million.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Goran the Dragon Dragic.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Who hasn't been healthy
Croatian
in 3
killer.
seasons.
But they're trying to make a deal with him with Dallas. They're trying to figure something out as a sign and trade for Dragic as well.
Well, they have to do all this to
Yeah.
be able to even think about signing, Jimmy Butler. So
Yeah,
how the hell
yeah.
are they going to get my, like Kawhi? It's just
Right. Well, let's jump into it in just a second. First, I got to hit this Knicks thing. You mentioned it earlier, Mark. The Knicks said they weren't prepared to offer Kevin Durant the 4-year, $164 million. Instead, they signed Julius Randle to a 3-year, $63 million deal.
that's actually a good signing in my opinion.
Bobby Portis to a 2-year, $31 million deal. And then Taj Gibson to a 2-year, $20 million deal. Oh, and Reggie Bullock, former Piston, to a 2-year, $20 million deal. So they used the money efficiently because they didn't want to spend the money on Kevin Durant. And maybe they made the right moves, but a lot of Knicks fans are super upset about it. And Knicks president Steve Mills came out and said, while we understand that some Knicks fans could be disappointed with tonight's news, we continue to be upbeat and confident about our plans for the future and rebuild the Knicks to compete for championships with our young talent and the draft and targeted free agents.
This whole season was Durant's going to go to the Knicks.
They made all the moves
We're going
to
get
make
Zion
the room
Williamson.
for
It's
Durant.
going to be the rebirth of the Knicks.
Right,
They got
yeah.
neither.
They got nothing.
Yeah.
But look, they did get R.J. Barrett who I believe is a good talent.
Great pickup on the draft, yeah.
I like Dennis Smith Jr. a lot.
Me too.
You know, Ntilikina still hasn't really shown that he can play at the high level, but, decent. I like the Julius Randle signing. But anyway, it's all a moot point because you don't give up Kristaps Porzingis for all this crap.
Yeah, that's essentially what happened. Yeah.
So look, Knicks fans, I think, have every right to be pissed off. But I'm telling you right now, the Knicks are in a better situation with about $55 million left of cap space than the Miami Heat are, with the highest payroll in basketball, and literally a team that could possibly not win a 7-game series against the Charlotte Hornets.
Without Kemba. Right.
Without Kemba.
Kemba's going to Boston.
That's right.
They signed Terry Rozier.
Yeah, they signed Terry Rozier. That's right. Right. You look at that situation. All right, well, let's get to the Heat. Let's get to Mark Fernandez's team there. The Miami Heat, they are finalizing a sign and trade deal with Jimmy Butler, as he was referencing. 4 years, $142 million. They're going to send Kelly Olynyk and Derek Jones to the Dallas Mavericks as part of the trade. And Miami is sending guard Josh Richardson to Philadelphia as part of the deal as well. The other parts of the deal still being negotiated with Dragic. Dallas Mavericks having an interest in Goran Dragic as well. But they're having issues about the salary. So it's not 100% confirmed, but these are the deals on the table right now. And like I said, can't sign contracts till Saturday, but these are the deals on the table.
Let me take this one. I'm a big Miami Heat guy.
The Miami beat writers are having a field day with this because none of them believe this deal is actually going to go through.
Wow. Yeah.
It's just there's so many moving pieces to this deal because of what a crap job Pat Riley has done managing our salary cap.
Right.
Ever since we signed Chris Bosh. Now, granted, Chris Bosh had that horrendous situation with the blood clot issue, but we still lost all that money. 5-year Supermax deal back in those days. We've been paying for that, and it's been a really rough situation. No fault of anybody. But on top of that, he's done nothing but bad deals. You know, the deal with Tyler Johnson was horrible. Thank God he got rid of that, but he still had to pay out like one more season. The Ryan Anderson deal makes no sense whatsoever. Dion Waiters is making $14 million a year.
Waiters Island, $14 million.
Yeah, you know, it's just like the Miami Heat have the highest salary in the NBA.
Yeah.
So I don't know how the hell they're going to get Jimmy Butler. They got to basically trade the entire team and hope that people are willing to and we still got to pay for half their salaries.
Hey, you guys want Ryan Anderson?
Pelicans?
Anyway.
But you look at this, Mark, if they do pull it off, though, does this excite you as a Miami Heat fan to have Jimmy Butler come in and essentially replace Dwayne Wade?
Look, Jimmy Buckets is made for Miami.
Yeah.
Okay? He's the kind of guy who, he knows that he can't pay for him, but he's just figure it out. I'm not leaving Miami. Once you get to Miami, that aquamarine water, South Beach, I mean,
no
Key Biscayne, the Cuban food, no state tax.
Yeah, those Cuban sandwiches.
I mean, Miami is a glamour destination for athletes. It's even though all of our teams are terrible, including the Dolphins. It's a good destination for athletes, you know. So
no state tax.
Look, Pat Riley, he's got a lot of crawling back to do to get in my good graces.
I just figured it out. Your mouth is writing checks your ass can't cash.
There you go. You got there. You got there.
That's it. Boom. That's the Heat. That's the Heat business motto right now.
You know what I heard this morning, and I was, it totally makes sense. Is you hear all of this, all the NBA free agency talks, the Heat, the Nets, the Knicks. You know what team nobody ever talks about in free agency?
Who's that?
Is the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, it's funny because I knew you were going to say that.
Never. When was the last time they were in a conversation for anybody outside of, Dwayne Wade might come here and finish his career because he's from Chicago and then didn't end up
happening? Well, they had Jimmy Buckets. They had Dwayne Wade.
They're gone. Bye. See ya. Whatever. It's as a franchise that, defined the NBA in the 90s. Has not done a thing since Derrick Rose. Not a thing.
Yeah. Not been able to do it consistently, that's for sure. They signed my backup point guard for the Wizards, Thomas Sadorowski. He went over there for 20.
Another insurance agent?
Czech guy. $20 million. He was averaging about 8.1 points and 6.5 assists for us. So he was filling in nicely for Wall, but now he goes to Chicago.
Wall might be now that, look, and I say it with all due respect because Chris Bosh is one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, ever. He did some stuff with us back at Complex. I mean, the guy is a saint.
Yeah. And he played great basketball for the Heat too.
Yeah.
When
He
was
played
playing.
great basketball. He was there. The guy is a saint.
Yep.
But that was probably the worst contract in the NBA because of the ramifications that it had. Currently, you own that title with John Wall.
$45 million for 1 year of basketball. Are you out of your freaking mind? It's mind. And it's completely hamstrung us. I wish Bradley Beal would force his way out of Washington in some way, but he's not going to. I think he's going to sign that extension for 3 years, $111 million.
Beal's a hell of a player.
Is he a pitcher? Like, I just don't get it to make that kind of money. Like, for play basketball, I don't get it. But let's move on to another team in the East here. That's the Philadelphia 76ers. Tobias Harris has decided to stay after Jimmy said he wasn't going to stay. The Sixers trying to save face said, "Oh, we knew Jimmy wasn't going to stay anyway." Everyone knows that's crap. But Tobias Harris signed to a 5-year deal for $180 million. He actually signed for a little bit lower than he could have, about $9.9 million lower than he could have in the situation. And then they signed Al Horford to a deal as well, a 4-year deal worth $109 million. I think this is nice moves by the Sixers. Quietly nice moves.
Yeah.
You keep Tobias, you bring a strong guy like Horford onto the team.
But you're missing one of the biggest problems that the 76ers have now.
Yeah, break it down.
The 76ers are basically like a tank now. Mm-hmm. Okay? They're all bigs.
Yes.
And they lost their sniper.
Yeah.
Right, in JJ Redick.
JJ Redick went to the Pels.
Yeah, to New Orleans.
So
Yep.
they lost their outside shooting.
Yep.
Their best shooter right now on that team, Tobias Harris can shoot from the
Yeah, he
outside.
can shoot.
But he's a big dude, right? He's like he's a natural 3.
Right.
And Embiid can shoot from the outside sometimes.
You're not trusting those guys to do your threes, though.
That's your range.
Yep.
Because like Ben Simmons can't shoot.
Yeah. Whose ball are you putting in their hands with 10 seconds left?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Well, they did pick up Josh Richardson.
Yeah.
Which I think is kind of like a poor man, like Lou Williams.
Yeah.
Like Josh Richardson, he can play.
He can play.
But
if the whole sign and trade deal goes through, yes, Josh Richardson would be a Sixer.
If Kawhi leaves Toronto,
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's between the Sixers and the Celtics for getting out of the East.
Interesting. Again, Celtics with Kemba Walker.
That's an awesome pickup for them.
Talk about that, Josh.
Kemba Walker, probably because he was in Charlotte, quietly had one of the better seasons all last year. He's been an all-star a few years. Remember, I made the joke a while back. I forgot Kemba Walker was in the league because he just gets buried in Charlotte. Nobody ever pays attention to Charlotte.
8 years he's been there, dealing with all the crap.
I mean, again, it's just like you can't win in Charlotte. It's just one of those cities. And for him to go to Boston and replace a guy that was terrible for the team, terrible for the city, not well liked in the locker room, to a guy that is well liked by everybody, who can actually run an offense, who isn't a totally selfish player, who wants to win via a team instead of winning to prove that I can win without LeBron James. It's a huge
comparable talent too.
Yes, totally, exactly. I mean, everybody talks about how Kyrie Irving might be the best finisher in the history of basketball. Go ahead, say what you want. You can finish all you want. If you're not winning games, it doesn't matter. And Kemba Walker is now stepping onto a team a year removed from that, like the huge deal that was the Gordon Hayward injury.
Yeah, the best finish in the history of basketball with LeBron James on his team. MJ is still the best finisher. It's not even close.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
But
he still shows up at practices and messes with people, so MJ don't play.
Yeah, Kemba Walker, I think is comparable to Kyrie.
I agree, 100%.
I think Kyrie, it's obvious that Kyrie is a better ball handler. I mean, the Kyrie ball handles are some of the most crazy things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
But Kemba Walker, I think, is a more consistent dude. I think he's better built for Boston, better built for that young head coach that they have, and Danny Ainge and that whole culture. And look, and maybe Gordon Hayward comes back healthy finally, bounces back a little bit. He had some decent games.
He was coming on at the end of the year.
Yeah, he was coming on at the end of the year.
They got Jaylen Brown. I think Jason Tatum.
For a second
Brown.
there, they almost had Tobias Harris too, right?
Yeah, there was conversations, and they almost tried to bring back Al Horford before Horford signed with the Sixers as well, which would have been an interesting thing. I'm excited. I want Kawhi to sign with Toronto. So you got yourself Toronto, Boston, Philadelphia, and the Sixers in.
And maybe the Nets.
And maybe the Nets.
And the Nets. I mean, in the mix here would be fun to see in the East.
Yeah, because like in the West, you still got Houston. I mean, even though they haven't made any moves, you still got Houston, right? Portland, right? Because Dame Lillard just signed
his max deal.
The max extension.
Exactly.
You bring in Hassan Whiteside, who's a great shot blocker, even though he's lazy as F. He's a great shot blocker.
Right, but he gives you insurance with Nurkic's injury that you could slide him in there as well. Yeah.
I mean, look. Maybe I won't keep my NBA pass.
Yeah,
but,
keep it, man. Keep it. I think you're going to enjoy it.
If Kawhi signs with the friggin' Lakers, I'm out. I'm out. Like, at least for a little, like.
Yeah, but watch it implode. I think it'd be good if I think it'd be good if it happened because you might enjoy them imploding. Because I got a feeling that team will implode. That's what I think. I feel because that's too many.
Is Kawhi their best? Yeah. What he said.
I mean, come on, 3 dudes and a bunch of minimum league level guys.
Nothing,
that's a recipe for
and
implosion.
Kawhi's lazy as fuck.
He can be.
Yeah,
he can be.
He'll play 60 games.
He get moody
max.
too. Yeah. How are you going to balance all the minutes?
Is he your best outside shooter, or is LeBron James your best outside shooter?
Right now,
like what I'm saying, like 3-point.
Right now,
I think Kuz
he
might
is.
be.
Kuzma.
Yeah, maybe. I think it's still Kawhi right now.
Kawhi's what, like a 36% from outside?
Yeah,
Something like
yeah.
that. That's high as hell.
Yeah, but you look at LeBron.
For the record, I made that up, so don't
Don't add Mark Fernandez. Yeah. But no, you look at LeBron. He just suffered his first injury last year, ever first extended time out. You've got Anthony Davis coming off injury. He's been injured before.
Totally.
And is Kawhi going to carry these 2 carcasses to the title? I don't know.
Right.
That's
First of
what
all,
concerns
38.
me.
Yeah,
you were
what did I
close.
say?
36.
I said okay.
You
38.
undered him.
Yeah.
You did all right. You did all right there. So.
I mean, here's the thing: is you got 3. Kawhi is oldish. You know what I mean? Yes, he just won a title, and you could be like, he's at his prime. But again, the life of a basketball player flips quick.
Yep.
It's not like hockey where you can just keep playing as a defenseman until you're 50.
Right.
Where, same as like a football running back. The NBA players peak and then they dip, right? And then they play like consistently decent basketball. But decent basketball in this league now is not good enough to win you any kind of championships, right? So you now have 3 guys that are a little bit older. Anthony Davis, who's a little bit injury prone and has never been put in a spotlight before. He could play in total anonymity in New Orleans and just be like, you know who's really good? Anthony Davis. Right? You know who doesn't go to the games? Pelicans fans.
Right.
So, but now he's in the Lakers spotlight. Now he's with LeBron James.
He's got to share the
Leonard
ball.
now he's got to share the ball.
Yeah,
3
Kawhi
guys.
too, yeah.
And now you have those 3 guys, Kyle Kuzma, and like 6 dudes named Josh McCouga just hanging out on the bench. Be like, I was pretty good in 8th grade, guys. Like,
who was that guy that used to go with Rodman to every team? That white dude, Jack something. He used to go with Rodman to every team. He was like their insurance. Got maybe a minute a game, but he was the insurance to keep Rodman chill. And you put him on the bench because you could. You paid him a little bit just to keep Rodman chill. It'll be 6 dudes like that on that team.
100%.
And that's unfortunate because there's not a lot out there anymore.
Yeah, look at and then nobody talks about Denver, but Denver's got a lot of talent, which with Murray, with the Joker. They got some talent out there too.
Agreed.
The running joke on here is for a while has been like, the Denver Nuggets have any fans? And then some dude just attacked me on Twitter.
So,
me and my grandfather love it. I was like, oh, sorry.
We've been every game.
Yeah.
I mean, look, my favorite performance of the year was the Joker's 65-minute game.
Mm-hmm.
That was incredible.
It was.
That was incredible. I can't believe they lost that game, but that was incredible.
Mm-hmm. He's a talent, man.
Yeah, I got on here. They just signed Jamal Murray to a 5-year extension. The Nuggets did. 5 years, $170 million. Kid's 22.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. He's going to play out his last year in the rookie contract, which is this upcoming year. But then after that, that new deal kicks in. That's a lot of money.
Yeah. Good for him.
Because they re-signed the Joker over the offseason last season. They re-signed him. So you've got all these pieces in place, and they exercise the option of Paul Millsap. Those Nuggets are going to be just fine with this playoff experience from this past year into the
What's going on with Devin Booker? I know that this comes out of left field.
Booker's with Phoenix still. He's still there.
But is he ever going to become a free agent? I mean, it seems like the kid is never.
No, I think he's on
like the
for
most underrated
3 years.
talent I think in the NBA. This Devin Booker
buried
guy.
in Phoenix. Too.
You know who they brought in to help him? Ricky Rubio. He signed with Phoenix to try to help him get some shots. But I don't know how much he helps on the defensive end. Yeah, exactly. Helps on the defensive end, but I don't know what he does for you offensively because his stats go lower and lower every year.
Yeah.
Is Rubio's that restaurant? Is that a national chain? That place is good, man. Sorry. Trying to lighten the mood.
Perfect. All right, let's move on to someone who really made out, and that is D'Angelo Russell. Holy crap, this actually happened. No one, and I read everything there is, was predicting D'Angelo Russell to the Golden State Warriors. They're finalizing a sign and trade deal with the Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn Nets said they were going to help D'Angelo out this way because of them bringing on Kyrie Irving. It's going to be a 4-year, $117 million contract to the Warriors. They traded Andrew Iguodala to the Memphis Grizzlies, and a protected 2024 first-round draft pick. But a lot of the pundits are saying that they're going to waive Andre Iguodala after the deal goes through, and then Andre can sign with whoever he wants to sign after that. So there's a number of picks involved in this. I just find this really interesting. Did they need a point guard with Steph Curry on the team? I know Klay Thompson's hurt, but it's only for
a forward. What they need is somebody to replace Durant.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry. Go ahead, Josh.
No. I was just going to say the same thing. Is I know Klay Thompson's hurt, but they do need somebody else shooting the ball with Steph Curry next season. So maybe it's like we hold on to D'Angelo Russell and see if he fits with us for a season, and then if he plays awesome, then we can deal him somewhere. We can get something.
But he's
for
what,
him.
6'2", 6'3"?
Yeah, 6'2", 6'3". But he can shoot. He made 234 3-pointers, which is the most in season in Nets history. And the Nets set 3,225 picks with Russell as the ball handler, which is huge.
Right, but what is he supposed to play, 2?
I don't know if he can play the 2. That's my concern.
He's too small for the 2.
Right. I mean, he's not a driver. He doesn't drive the ball to the basket that often. So he's more of a shooter sitting out on the outside. So that'll be an adjustment to the game. The other thing I thought in my head is Steve Kerr changing the game of basketball again and playing with 2 point guards like Daryl Morey was going to do with Chris Paul and James Harden? Is that what's happening here? Are they expanding basketball in this way where it's all small all the time?
100 3-pointers.
That's what scares the hell out of me, man. Because he's not going to fill Thompson's
role. The Warriors should have gone after Kawhi.
Yeah.
The Warriors should have gone after Kawhi. Like, maybe they still can.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know what the particulars of the Warriors situation is
Kawhi's going to end up with the friggin'
financially.
Lakers, isn't he?
If he ends up at the Warriors, I feel like the rest half the league or most of the fan base is like, oh.
You're a betting man. You're betting $1,000. Where does Kawhi end up?
Man, the way that they were talking about it, I'm gonna say the Lakers.
Yeah. Is that how you feel? I think he goes back to Toronto. I think for 1 year. I think he signs a 1-year deal and then goes into free agency again after the 1-year deal, like LeBron did with Cleveland, those 1-and-1 deals, and then gets a crap ton of money.
I'd love for him to go to the Clippers.
That would be great.
But if I were to bet money on it, I had to bet money on it.
Lakers.
Probably the Lakers.
Take it. I'd take 900 of that 1,000, put on the Lakers, and then take a small 100 and put it on the Clippers, and just like hedge my bet in Los Angeles. Like, here we go.
I do want to say one thing about the Russell deal. I think this is a fantastic deal for this young kid because he was basically pushed out of town by Magic Johnson a couple of years ago, and everybody thought he was damaged goods. Brooklyn took him in, resuscitated this kid's career, and now he led them to 42
but let's
wins.
not forget why they kicked him out of Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Like, the kid did some idiotic shit.
He recorded Nick Young talking about other women while Nick Young was dating Iggy Azalea. So
I mean,
what. Yeah, that's kind of the breaking the man code. You don't do that.
No.
You don't do that.
You can't live that down.
No.
That's tough. That's a tough one to come back
scene.
But he was also a young kid. He was 18, 19 years old when he did that. Maybe you can forgive him.
Here's the thing: is the Lakers are like the Los Angeles Yankees, right? Is they don't develop talent. I'm talking about like the Yankees 10 years ago. Now the Yankees have kind of gotten back into that developing talent kind of a situation, which I really dig. Yeah, but they just want to bring in stars and they want to win right away instead of taking some of these draft picks that they've gotten by having 7 straight losing seasons or 6 straight losing seasons instead of trying to develop that talent. It's like 1 year, you're not working, get out.
And you make a great point, Josh. Don't be surprised if the New Orleans Pelicans are, fighting for playoff spots in the middle of the pack next year because of the former Lakers players.
I think they're a 5th, 6th place.
Certainly
possible. Yeah, I mean, they got JJ in there. Look, we'll see how good Zion translates.
And they're trying to get Derek Favors from Utah. That's a pot. That's in the play as well, which is good. Some veteran presence.
Utah also signed. Utah just signs
John Smith.
Utah didn't Utah sign? They signed somebody else to bolster up that defense. Thaddeus Young? No.
Thaddeus Williams.
They signed Ed Davis. That's for sure.
Maybe not Thaddeus Young. I think Thaddeus Young is still out there. Yeah. Somebody to look out for. Thaddeus Young, I think, is a great defender. Somebody's looking to shore up that defense.
Yep.
Nobody thought I was going to bring up Thaddeus Young.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Came out of nowhere.
I wasn't prepared. They signed Bojan Bogdanovic off of the Pacers, which is great shooting for them.
That's a good, because he's also a great defender.
And where did Brogdon go? The guy
Malcolm
from Milwaukee.
Brogdon, he went to the Pacers. So now the Pacers are in the mix as well, in my opinion, for the East as well, because Malcolm Brogdon, up and coming kid, he's going to be great on Indiana.
Yeah, especially if Oladipo can come back.
Yeah.
But Oladipo, needs to come back.
And the one team we haven't even said anything about is Milwaukee. They didn't make any moves. They still just have Giannis.
That's what concerns me, because they lost Brogdon.
That's what I'm saying.
That concerns me, because the Knicks supposedly signed all these contracts, 2-year deals, so that when Giannis is up for free agency in a couple of years, they can swoop in and bring him to New York. So they're trying to, but they did the same thing for LeBron and failed, for Durant and failed. So why are they going to do it right this time? I don't know. Dolan should sell the team and start
Dolan
over
should
again.
sell the team.
Yeah, I mean, it's too much.
You can probably sell for $5 billion.
Yeah.
Totally.
$5 billion.
Too much bad karma all around in that way. All right, one last story. Are there any other free agency deals that you guys want to talk about, you're interested in?
The fact that Mark looks like a Sicario 2, Deo Soldato. You look like James Brolin.
No, but also
Brolin.
Vogel is the coach of this
Frank
Lakers.
Vogel, that's a thing.
With this weirdo Jason Kidd in the background trying to steal his job.
You
know what? I'm going to keep the NBA pass because you're right. To see them collapse in on each other like a black.
I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah,
I like the Lopez brothers reuniting there in Milwaukee. Brooke Lopez and Robin Lopez now on the same team for the first time since they graduated Stanford. And you mentioned Thaddeus Young. Guess what? He signed a 3-year deal with the Bulls. So you talk about Chicago. Thaddeus is going to Chicago.
Thaddeus Young with the Bulls. Okay,
good. $41 million deal.
Thaddeus Young is a hell of a defender.
Yep.
He's a hell of a defender, and I think he'll be nice there.
You know what's crazy? He'll be
like that.
He'll be the oldest Bull on the team at 31 years old. That's how young that team is now.
I think you might have a point that we could have an imploding star in Los Angeles.
I think in both places, Los Angeles or Brooklyn. I think it's possible in both places, but certainly it's Los Angeles. Because, the pressure in LA is a lot.
That's a lot.
Especially now
like
after
imploding
6
star,
losing seasons. It just keeps mounting and mounting and mounting.
Yeah. Do you think LeBron will take a back seat to Kawhi? You think LeBron?
No.
The greatest of all time?
I think LeBron's
possibly?
better than Kawhi.
Huh?
I think LeBron's better than Kawhi.
There are people arguing that point now.
I listen, 2 years ago, I would say yes. After watching the most NBA finals I've watched in a long time, watching what Kawhi Leonard did with that team against the Warriors, pretty damn impressive.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can call them Warriors, but
without KD, but I'm just
without
saying.
KD, without Clay, without
they swept
Iggy.
Portland going into it. I mean,
yeah.
There were no slouches.
Here's what I'll say. All this free agency stuff, I know it frustrates you, Mark, at times, but it excites me because now we have a new landscape to focus on and talk about, see what these players can do in these new situations or returning situations, and it makes the NBA exciting again. They've been saying this for quite some time, but it's really true. The NBA is a 12-month league now. There's no quote-unquote real off-season anymore. Stuff is happening all the time, and we'll hear news items every week about the NBA and who's getting along with who's getting hurt where, who's doing what with who, and I like that. It keeps the NBA at the forefront of people's minds, and they have a progressive commissioner, Adam Silver, who understands and respects the athletes and the owners and the teams, and I appreciate that. So I hope it's crazy, but it could be fun, and maybe you'll stick around for a year if Kawhi.
Of course, look, I love basketball, man. There's nothing. It's so funny because in my head, Josh McCougar is also a huge basketball fan, even though he kind of really isn't. So I'm always texting him during the basketball games, like, "Holy fuck, did you see that?" And it's like some random game, like on a Tuesday.
Then I'll have to go on NBA.com. Like, what's he talking about? Okay, cool.
So look, basketball is too good to pass up, and you make a very good point. These musical chairs of free agency in the NBA reshift the landscape pretty drastically year to year. So right now you're like, who's coming out of the West? You have no idea. Right. I mean, maybe the Lakers, but they only have 3 players, right? Yeah. The 3 best players, but I mean, look, they haven't signed Kawhi yet. Not yet. You're right. It's like, who the hell's going to win this thing?
Could be Denver. Could be Golden State again with the moves they made with D'Angelo Russell. If they bring back Iguodala, he stabilizes their second unit, their bench unit. So there's all kinds of moves in the West. I got my eye on Denver. I liked what they did last year, and I think they're going to take that experience and go the next level next year. And I like Jamal Murray a lot.
Who's your near post free agency early pick, East and West?
Oh, God, you got to wait for Kawhi. I have to wait for Kawhi, but right now I like Boston. I think Kemba stabilizes that team. I think Kemba's a team player in a way that Kyrie wasn't. I think he's going to make those guys fall in love with basketball again, and he's going to really bring Brad Stevens' system to life again. And all the questions people had about Brad Stevens last year, there's only so much you can overcome when you have a diva superstar. I think Brad Stevens is going to take that team to the next level again with Kemba, and that's going to be exciting to watch. Philadelphia is my other dark horse there. Unless Kawhi goes back to Toronto, then all bets are off. Toronto looks to be, for me, the pole position. But I like what Boston did with Kemba. I like the moves they made.
And then out west?
Denver. Denver's who I have right now, but don't discount Portland. I think bringing back Nurkic from that injury, getting Hassan Whiteside, giving him some minutes, you'll see what can happen there. But if Kawhi signs with the Lakers, I don't know. All bets are off, I think, at that point, if Kawhi signs for the Lakers.
Yeah.
I like Boston. Obviously, Kemba Walker. And I hate saying anything good about Boston sports, but Kemba Walker, loved in the New England area, especially if you're a UConn fan.
Right,
what he
exactly.
did that one Big East tournament, that national championship. Because, again, everybody thought that Boston was the team to beat out of the East last year, and because Kyrie Irving just totally, left everything on the table, they were not. I would stick with Boston. I love Toronto. I really fell in love with that team throughout the playoffs this year. If I was going to go out west, I don't care where Kawhi goes. I think you throw the ball at the Lakers.
Right.
Yeah.
Mark, I'm going to go pretty much the same exact thing you said.
Okay.
With the exception of the Denver thing, I think Denver's still a little too young.
Okay.
We got to see where Kawhi goes. If Kawhi's with the Lakers, they might win the next 4 championships.
Yeah.
But if Kawhi doesn't land with the Lakers, I don't know, man. The West is really tricky right now because everybody forgot it. Somehow the Houston Rockets that were pushing the Warriors at their peak for 7 games seem to have imploded. So, I don't know.
That's certainly a thing to explore as well. What's going to happen with the Rockets as a result? Because all that Chris Paul, James Harden conversation, all the rumors. I know a friend of our show, Brad Gilmore, up down in Houston, hosting that ESPN show with Booker T. He thinks it's all bullcrap. But a lot of people are saying that it isn't and that it's truthful, and that's going to lead to some issues down the road for Houston. So we'll see what they do. So all this stuff in the air is a lot of fun to talk about. I want to thank Mark Fernandez for stopping by. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
You can follow him at Mark Fernandez. We're going to go to a little bit of a break, and when we come back, Josh and I are going to talk about the United States women's national team game against England and what happened. All right, we're back, and we have watched this incredible semifinal between the United States women's national team and England. I'm here with Josh Makuga. Makuga, you watched this thing. We watched it in 2 separate locations, but we could hear each other yelling from across the street, cheering on this team.
I was texting you in anger, then in happiness, and then in happiness, and then I scared you walking in. Dude, it was, first of all, a very, very fun game to watch. The first half, all kinds of fireworks, and the second half, you said it best. When it's like in hockey when a team has an incredible back check and they get up by 2 goals and the offense just has nowhere to go. England's offense in the second half, besides that PK, really only had one shot on goal.
I would say that I don't think their offense showed out that well in this match. They did get the goal from Kelly White, which was really great. She almost had a second one that was, ruled a penalty, and then that was saved by the goalkeeper for the United States. But the back line and the midfield of the United States controlled the game. They bossed the game around. Totally. You could tell a number of times. They didn't have the goals to show for it overall, but that's Jill Ellis' style of play as coach of the women's national team. Get up on them early and then slowly but surely choke the life out of them. We saw that.
In the first 25 minutes or so, honestly, besides the English goal, which was about the 3 or 4 minutes, it seemed like they were in our end in the first half. We dominated them. I was watching it going we're we're better than they are.
Yeah.
We're a better team, and it definitely showed that second Alex Morgan goal.
Oh, yeah.
I think had we kept pressing him, we could have won this game 4-1.
Oh, absolutely. If we had kept trying to score, there's no way we don't slide one of those goals in a third or fourth goal, as you said.
Totally.
In the counterattack, because England was so desperate to score, they were throwing numbers up the field. But this was an interesting match also, Josh, because you have Megan Rapinoe not playing for some mystery hamstring issue that the coach Jill Ellis would not confirm. There was just the rumors they were hearing out from people who were calling the game that it was a hamstring issue. And unfortunately, the top goalkeeper, the first string goalkeeper for England, was also out with Karen Bardsley. She was ruled out with a hamstring injury, so Carly Telford had to start in goal. But I don't think that mattered goal-wise. I don't think any of those goals were like easily savable or anything like that.
Totally. I mean, I think the only time that you see a goalkeeper really be a factor is when they let in a weak one.
Yeah.
Right? For the most part.
Right,
I mean,
a howler or something like that.
Yeah, or they make these incredible saves, save after save, just like in hockey.
Yeah.
It's just like in hockey.
Exactly.
I know, I'm sure soccer fans, football fans, whatever you call it, wherever you are, hate that I keep making hockey references, but that's been the only reference point that I have.
Of course. Well, it works. These are goals that you're playing against each other. That's what you're trying to do here.
Totally.
Yeah.
I think... I guess going forward, who do you want to see?
Well, Netherlands or Sweden. We've beaten Sweden already 2-0, but Sweden always is a difficult team to knock out of a tournament. And a final group game is not an elimination game or a final game. Totally. But that Netherlands team is fast, speedy. You got to have your head on a swivel. They will give the U.S. all kinds of trouble, and they are the European champions. So the United States versus the European champions would be a fantastic matchup. It's literally a Super Bowl, so to speak, AFC versus NFC in that way. So I look forward to that. Congrats to Alex Morgan getting her goal here on her 30th birthday.
That's cool.
You want to score on your birthday. It's always good.
That header was just the sickness.
Oh, yeah.
I mean...
Lindsey ran a perfect pass.
Oh,
teardrop pass right in there.
Just awesome.
Right?
I mean, rarely do you see goals that pretty.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Just kind of like... the 5 goals she scored against Thailand, 6 goals in the in the tournament, so 5 in one in another. You give us 5 days. Do you think Rapinoe plays in the...
I think there's a possibility. It depends on the training staff. And I also don't know if I buy... Do you think it's a hamstring injury? It sounds something a little more suspicious, like maybe her and Al Jill had a little bit of a disagreement or something.
Do you think it was more so that the English were coming after her? Because I saw a lot of articles, and I saw a lot of quotes from players. Yeah. The French paper were having a field day with her. The English paper was having a field day with her. Maybe the thought was by Jill Ellis was like, let me create some sort of mystery. Don't start her, and then watch the U.S. still beat them without them to be like, we don't need her.
We don't need, we can do it with whatever we have. We overcome any injury, we'll do it.
Yeah.
Well, I also think that kind of stuff from England and the French papers is just jealousy. That's full-on jealousy. It's not arrogance if you can back it up. Everyone knows that. Talk all the smack you want or act however you want. But those ladies, that's a false narrative that they're pushing. They were trying to get under the skin of these women because they wanted their ladies to win a World Cup.
Totally.
And none of it worked. Those ladies are built of steel, and they have fought hard to be in this position to win another World Cup back to back.
Totally.
And they're the number one team coming in. And if you can't be arrogant when you're number one, then what are you doing? Is what I'm asking you. You got to believe in yourself, and those ladies do that. We had a penalty that was saved, which was really cool, and then we had that VAR call that with the offside. I thought that was the right call. She was half a step ahead.
Totally.
Sometimes you see them not given. She was half a step ahead. Totally good call. I felt the penalty was a little bit of flop, but a lot of people thought it was a legitimate penalty. It was clumsy.
It was off. Yeah, I think it was a little bit clumsy, kind of incidental. But
incidental.
It was off ball. That was the thing. It was she wasn't even near the ball.
Right.
And it was a clear breakaway situation.
Yes, it was.
Well, again, that's why they do the VAR. And I know a lot of people have a problem with the VAR, but I would rather get it right. Get a second look at these huge plays than just be like, nope, we're done.
Yeah, people worry that the VAR rules the headlines of these games sometimes. But hey, if we're going to get it right, VAR, as you said, Josh, has to be an essential part of calling these games.
Totally.
One other injury to talk about, and that's Rose Lavelle. She came off with a hamstring injury, was replaced by Sam Mewis in the game. Rose Lavelle is a bigger loss to me than Rapinoe because Rose is speed. She's fast. Yeah, in the France game, she was kind of half and half there. But in this game, she was tearing apart England until she went down. I hope they both. Yeah, the heat is really important.
It is
a great point. Man. It is very hot out there.
Well, hamstring though too is an injury you don't rush back from.
Yeah.
You can't rush back from because it's not a bone or anything. So,
right.
it's soccer. You got to run. If their hamstring's not 100%, goodbye.
Yeah, and it'll be.
Listen, if you got 20 minutes left in the World Cup final and it's tied 1-1, and you're looking for a sub, you're looking for a speedy goal scorer. I don't know if that's again. You need offense in these World Cup finals. If we've seen anything, like the men's World Cup final last year, 4-2.
Right.
Weird things happen in the finals where remember that Germany final a couple years ago or 4 years ago? It was with
Brazil.
In the men's.
Yeah, with Brazil killing them like 7-1 or 7-0.
It's crazy. Yeah. So.
In Brazil.
In Brazil. Yeah. But there's so much that we don't know because we never play. We don't play the Netherlands.
Yeah. I know, and that's what is exciting. England, we've played a couple of times. Certainly, France, we played a few times. Netherlands is not a team we've played a lot, so this is going to show us something. But then again,
Sweden.
I discounted the Swedes against the Germans.
Everybody did.
Yeah, and Sweden went and took that one, and that'll be interesting to see overall who comes out of that match. Kendra de St. Aubin, when we had our conversation, she predicted Sweden over Germany, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, "Are you sure?" She's like, "Trust me, they're veterans. They've been there before," and sure enough, she was right.
Kind of like how I treated you when you picked Toronto over Golden State. You see how that happened. Although, I'm a degenerate gambler when I took Sweden because the odds were so crazy in Germany's favor. I bet on Women's World Cup soccer. Guys, it's been a heck of a year. I'm on full tilt, John. I'm on full tilt.
I like it. All right, we'll see what happens coming up. In my opinion, overall, I would just say this. I felt like England played lesser competition to get to this spot than the United States did. The United States kind of forged their games in fire with a Sweden game, a Spain game, and a France game. They played Cameroon and Norway. You're not going to prep for the U.S. playing lesser teams like that. And so in the end, they were able to handle all that England gave them. And shout out to all those ladies on the England national team. You have inspired a nation, and we'll see what happens with the next generation, and we'll see what happens in 4 years. If you all are a power, France is a power, Spain is a power, and the U.S. is a power, the U.S. needs to really be afraid of what's coming next.
Absolutely.
These are all coming on. All right, the final is Sunday at 8 a.m. Pacific time, so maybe, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, whatever time it is around your area. There you go. Watch it. The United States women's national team we'll find out soon. But thanks, everybody, for watching this episode of Collider Sports Time. For Mark Fernandez, who is here. Josh McCouga, where can they find you, man?
At Josh McCouga. Twitter and Instagram. I post everything I do on those social media channels.
There you go. You can follow me at The Roke Says on Twitter and on Instagram. And like I say every time, please click that red button to subscribe to the channel. Help support us to do more and more content. If you're listening to the podcast channel, subscribe as well. It helps us out as well. All right. Shout out to Adam Smith in the booth there. Thanks for everything, brother, man.
You us hype.
Yeah,
You us hype. You us hype.
Have a great July 4th weekend. We'll talk to you soon.